Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sports Lowdown. Brad Swanson here bringing you the Sports Lowdown as we do each and every week, Wednesday nights at 6 p.m., right here on Channel 98.9 FM. Lee Knapp is a little under the weather, so he will not be joining me this evening, but he will be back, I'm sure, next week, and we hope that Lee has a speedy recovery. I'd like to thank Lee for all of his efforts that he does on the swimming side of things for our sports show. Lee, if you listen to the show, you know that Lee is an official. He officiates the swim meets, and he's also been a coach for both the girls and boys Otters teams in the past, and he's been around the sport for many, many years. I always say that the Knapp family is synonymous with Corry swimming, and Lee does a great job. He keeps us up to date on what's going on with the swim team. And speaking of the swim team, the boys and girls finished up Monday night. The regular season is now over, and the boys ended up with a 10-5 record overall, as they beat Warren on Monday night, and the girls fell to Warren and ended the campaign at 0-15. But as we've talked in the weeks past, Lee informed us that we have some very strong kids coming up. We have, I believe he said, 6 girls that are in 8th grade that are really going to make a big impact on the girls swim team next year. So we're hoping for great things for Coach Doug Gerald's team. Both teams, the girls and the boys. So we're pleased to see the boys have a nice season this year. We wish the girls the very best. And, you know, the postseason's coming up, so they still have more swimming, and that will be taking place here in the very near future, and we're going to keep you up to date with that as it draws nearer. So, girls and boys basketball also will conclude this week. The regular season for wrestling is complete, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the Beaver boys finished up the regular season with Warren. The girls will be finishing this week. They will play tonight, actually, in Titusville. It'll be a varsity-only game, and they'll follow the Titusville varsity boys. So the girls will play Titusville. It'll be a very emotional and tough game, as the game will be a tribute game, they're going to call it. So it'll be senior night for the girls, and the game will also be in memory of Jen Troop's mother, Deb Gates, who recently passed away from cancer. And Jen Troop coached the Lady Rockets for a number of seasons. They're asking fans to wear pink if possible when they attend the game. So that varsity game will begin at 7, following a Titusville boys non-region varsity game versus Commodore Perry that tips off at 6. So the game will be around 7 o'clock. And, get out and support the kids if you can. And looks like the roads are going to be halfway decent. We're not supposed to get snowfall till later on, so get down there to Titusville and support those ladies if you can. So the Lady Beavers will conclude their season on Friday against Fairview, and that will end the regular season. Haven't heard anything about playoff stuff. I know anymore. Every team, I believe, is invited to the playoffs, no matter what the record is. I don't know if Coach Sisson and the girls will join into the playoffs, or just end the season with that final game at Fairview on Friday night. The boys, however, 10-5 on the season, and they lost a couple heartbreakers. They lost to Harbor Creek twice, and they lost, I believe, a close one to Warren. So they had some games that they let slip away, or their record could be 12-3 or even better. So the boys, I'm sure, will be entering the playoffs, and we'll keep you up to date, as I said, as we move along here. So hopefully those boys will get the opportunity to get into the playoffs, and if they start hitting on all cylinders and play together as a team, they have tremendous potential. They only have a few seniors. They have some great underclassmen, and if they play together and start hitting on all cylinders, they could make a little noise in the playoffs here. So we'll see what happens, and like I said, we'll keep you up to date. So around the area also, the Lady Bears of Union City, they're still plugging away. I'm not sure what the playoff picture looks like for them or for the Union City boys. And Clymer, and they're still playing. I'm not sure exactly how long their schedule will take them. I think they might have to have another week or so left of their regular season. I think they might go a little longer than Corry and Union City, boys and girls. But here's what we have on tap for the rest of the week here. It looks like, as I said, the Corry girls team is at Titusville this evening with no JV action. They're supposed to be starting around 7. Depends on what time that first game with the Titusville boys taking on Commodore Perry finishes up. And then Thursday, it looks like it's going to be a Panama Clymer game. JV's at 6, and that'll be a senior night. So looking forward to that. I hope that Panama gets out. Hope that Clymer gets out and supports the kids. And it's kind of neat with Clymer, Panama, and Sherman as they join together for football. The last 2 years they've been the state champions in football, and for those kids to meet on the hardwood out there playing basketball against one another, it's got to be a lot of fun for all those kids, and there's a lot of mutual respect. So there has been over the years before the merge, but even more so now, and you have some really, really talented athletes from all three schools, so it's a lot of fun. I think that the fans get along a lot better nowadays with them joining in and being so successful with their football program. So we just hope for great things in the future from the three schools, Clymer, Panama, and Sherman. So we look ahead here. As I said, I'm not really sure exactly what the playoff scenario is going to be yet, but I'll get an opportunity to speak with the coaches here before next Wednesday's show, and we will let you know as soon as I find things out, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, as I said, the boys look like they're probably headed to the playoffs. Not really sure if the girls are going to yet or not, but regardless, we want those girls to keep their heads held high, and potential is unbelievable for that girls squad if everybody sticks together and they continue to work hard in the off season as well. And that's a great group of kids. A lot of them play softball together. A lot of them are on the track team in the spring together. So that's what it takes, is for all those kids to play together, believe in one another, encourage one another, and we have some great coaches out there to push that a little bit. So I see the girls program turning around big time in the near future, and I know Coach Sisson's very excited about the future of Corry basketball. And that being said, we're going to take a break here and listen to our wonderful sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk more sports right here on the Sports Lowdown. Welcome back to the Sports Lowdown. Brad Swanson here tonight, bringing the show to you. As I mentioned earlier in the show, my comrade, Lee Knapp, not feeling so well, under the weather a little bit, and we wish him a quick and speedy recovery. I'm sure he will be back with me next Wednesday, right here on Channel 98.9 FM, to bring you the Sports Lowdown. We have a great time doing this. We hope that you enjoy it. And once again, I'd like to express that these are views and opinions. Whatever Lee and I are talking about and whatever we're throwing out there at you, they are simply our views and opinions. And we definitely don't mean to leave anybody out or to step on any toes, make anyone feel uncomfortable at all. It's just we talk sports, and we throw out our feelings and what we think, so bear with us. And if you have any likes or dislikes, you can go to our website and let us know. We would like to hear from you. It'd be nice to know how many people are actually listening to our show. So, go on our webpage and give us a thumbs up, or throw something out there, maybe something you'd like to hear more of that we could cover here on the Sports Lowdown, whatever the case may be. But reach out to us and let us know, please. And our website is www.channel989.org. That's www.channel989.org. So let us know. We want to know. Now, I did talk about swimming, girls and boys. We talked about girls and boys basketball. And now we'll talk a little bit of wrestling. And I hope that you all enjoyed last week's segment where we did the meet and greet of the winter sports teams. We're hoping that we can continue to do that with our spring sports teams when that season rolls around, which is not too far away, folks. That's a good thing. I was watching the news the other night, and they said 20 some odd days, I believe 24 days now after today, left before we spring ahead and we gain more daylight. And I know that some of you probably are realizing that as the day progresses, that it isn't really getting dark until after 6 p.m., so that's a good thing. We're starting to see the days getting a little bit longer, more daylight, and that should put a little boost in your schedule, give you a little more giddy up in your step. I know it does for me. I feel a lot better when I have more daylight to deal with. And I would much rather be sitting on my riding lawnmower tractor taking care of the yard than outside with a shovel in my hand, shoveling snow. And I hope there's a whole bunch of people that agree with me on that one. But let's move along here now to wrestling. And what a season this wrestling team is having. Are they unreal or what? Fantastic to see what they've been able to do this year. I know Coach Mark Muncie is just more than pleased. I mean, I was down at the school a week ago Monday when they wrestled Quaker Valley. And as these kids were coming out, I'm thinking, this is a real good situation. We started the match at 152 pounds, and I thought, this is the place we want to be. We're pretty strong all the way through our lineup, but I like starting anywhere. Doesn't matter to me. We could start at 106 and work our way all the way up. We could start at heavyweight and work our way down. They don't do it that way, of course, but it doesn't matter really where we start. I don't think we have many weak links, is what I'm trying to say. So we started at 152 pounds, and Hunter Savitz wrestled a tremendous match. He is paired up against a really, really good wrestler, and Hunter fell behind quickly 5-0 as the Quaker Valley wrestler got a 5-point move. He got a takedown and then took Hunter to his back for 3 near fall points, was winning 5-0 quickly. When that match ended, folks, the final score was 7-6 in favor of the Quaker Valley wrestler. But Hunter Sabatz showed what guts and determination can do for you when you go out there and say, I'm going to do my very best. Don't care what the score is. I'm still going to work my tail off the entire time I'm on this mat. And that's exactly what Hunter did. And hats off to him. What a great, great match. He did a fantastic job. Even though he got beat, he only gave up 3 team points. And, you know, there's a lot of kids around this area that would have been really down, and especially in a pressure-packed match like that. These kids were all vying, both teams, to get to the state team tournament, and that's a lot of pressure on kids. So Hunter did a fantastic job, and if you're listening out there, buddy, I'm very proud of your effort, and I know there's a lot of people that will say the same thing that I'm saying. You keep working, and great things are going to happen for you. So we moved along to 160, then 170, and you know we were taking our lumps, and I'm thinking, wow, this Quaker Valley team's pretty strong. I'm looking out there, and I'm seeing these tall kids, really tall kids. I'm thinking, did they bring half the basketball team with them, or what? And there was one kid who looked to be almost 6'6", and the Quaker Valley kids were very well coached and used their legs tremendously in their matches to control our Corry kids. Matt Trilla got us on the board as he pinned a very, very tough wrestler from Quaker Valley, and we moved on, and a couple of our other guys lost. Our heavier guys. The interesting thing came at heavyweight when Xavier Rada stepped on the mat for Corry, and Quaker Valley sent this guy out who looked like his arms were bigger than my legs. He just looked like he spent a tremendous amount of time in the weight room. A big, very, very strong-looking kid. He was giving away a lot of height. Of course, everybody that wrestles Xavier gives away a lot of height. But as they stepped on the mat, Coach Mark Muncie yelled to the referees. Now, there were 2 referees because of the importance of this matchup, where they're vying to get into the state team finals. So Coach Muncie called him over to the score table and questioned it. And the next thing you know, the referee's coming out. He's raising Xavier's hand. So what had happened, I talked to Mark after the match was over, Coach Muncie, and he said the guy weighed in at 193 pounds. In order to be able to wrestle at heavyweight, you have to weigh at least 197 pounds. So that was just a great heads-up move by Coach Muncie. He did what he was supposed to do, and Xavier got his hand raised. We got 16 points, and that was huge. That was really huge. It was a pivotal point because his son Lucas stepped on the mat the very next match and just totally dominated another very good wrestler. But Lucas beat him, almost tech-falled him by the 15-point margin. He beat him 19-4. So then we move on, and Caden Rada, the hero from the weekend before out at Sharon, Caden came out and got a quick pin. Damian Kinney came out, followed him up with a quick pin. And the next thing you know, Corey's in control. At 132 pounds, we lost. And then at 138, Trey Proper, just a freshman who's been wrestling phenomenally, came out, got the pin, and that sealed the deal. And then they forfeited at 145 to our senior Nick Lipinski. Match over. And Corey wins. And they moved on. They went down to the state tournament. They hit a buzzsaw in the very first round when they faced Southern Columbia. Southern Columbia ended up facing Reynolds in the finals for the second year in a row, and the same results. Reynolds beat them. So Corry had a tough time with them, and then moved on and got a win over Burrell, and then lost. So, but they went down and they got 3 extra matches, which is fantastic. And when I was talking to Coach Muncie on Monday, I said, the beauty of this is if you can win one down here, you're giving your wrestlers an extra match. Plus, they're getting 3 extra matches that they wouldn't normally get had they not made it out of the team tournament at Sharon. They're getting 3 more matches, which could be vital to some of these younger kids in career victories. So, that was nice to be able to get down there and to actually win a match. A couple of our seniors won all of their matches there, Matt Petrilla and Nick Lipinski, and to see that happen, that's fantastic. And there was a few other kids that won all 3 of their matches as well. And here we go. We're getting ready now for the postseason as the section tournament begins this weekend, Friday night, at Meadville. So sections are at Meadville, and I think that Corry's going to push quite a few kids ahead. There's 14 wrestlers, there's 14 weight classes, and we cover them all. And I think that Corry has a great chance of moving a bunch of these kids through the section tournament to the district tournament. And I'd really like to see that happen. If you get the opportunity to go down and support these kids, please do so. And also look for different media outlets that will enable you to follow this tournament as well if you can't get down there. But when you see these kids, when you see these coaches, let them know that you're following them. And, it's just great to see that Corry Wrestling is coming back to what it once was way back when I was in high school. They were a powerhouse, and here we go. These Beavers are a powerhouse once again. So we want to wish all of our kids the best of luck when they start the postseason. And it's hard to believe that here we are, everyone is gearing up for the postseason. The swim teams, and now they'll be going as teams and individuals. The basketball team, I believe the boys are going for sure. I'm not sure whether the girls are going to join in the postseason or not. But regardless, we just, we got your back, ladies and gentlemen. So all of you boys and girls, we got your back here in Corry. You got great fan support, and we're all behind you 100%. So go out and do your very best. If your season is concluding, thank you for all you've done. All you seniors, thank you for the memories. And we're looking forward to finishing this postseason up in a strong way and putting Corry on the map. And then we're going to jump into the spring season. And I know that great things are going to happen from our spring sports teams as well. Well, thank you for hanging in and listening to the Sports Lowdown. Hopefully, Lee will join me again next week, as I mentioned. And I hope all of you will join in and listen as well. We thank you for listening to the Sports Lowdown every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Channel 98.9 FM. And I hope that you'll keep your radio dial tuned in and listen to the great selection of music that Brian Silvas brings you on Channel 98.9 FM as well. And there are a few programs on there that if you haven't heard them, keep listening and you will hear them. So bottom line is, listen to Channel 98.9 FM, where you're going to get a lot of different music that hasn't been beat up too much and some older stuff, but good music. And you're also going to get some different programming and, of course, the Sports Lowdown once a week right here Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. So hats off to all of our winter sports teams, coaches, and everyone involved. And we're going to keep cheering you on as you finish up in the postseason. And we're going to hope and hope that a bunch of you will be participating in the spring sports schedule as well. So for Brian Silvas back at the station, this is Brad Swanson for the Sports Lowdown, saying have a great evening, and we will talk to you next week. Go Beavers!